how I discovered the zooming out technique. It's a transition from being exceptional that can be achieved through zooming in to being phenomenal. In my journey towards understanding what truly makes a housekeeper the best, I found that it's not just about precision or efficiency, it's also about perspective. This chapter introduces a subtle yet transformative practice that can take your cleaning ability from exceptional to phenomenal, and it only takes under 2% of your cleaning time. It's a practice I came to call zooming out. The discovery, after logging thousands of professional hours, as you know, I developed an almost scientific curiosity. What separates good cleaners from the great ones? Through careful observation both of myself and of top performing housekeepers I worked with, I began to notice something that wasn't taught in any manual. At the end of their cleaning routine, the best housekeepers would pause and do something that looked deceptively simple. They would stand back and scan the room that they'd just cleaned with fresh eyes. They weren't checking for dirt, but they were looking for flow, symmetry, and visual balance. If something jarred their sense of visual harmony, they'd quietly adjust it. I came to understand that this was more than a finishing touch. It was a deliberate practice of zooming out. While zooming in focuses on the details of cleaning, dusting, scrubbing and polishing zooming out is all about stepping back and taking in the room as a whole. This shift in perspective allows you to notice the finishing touches that make a room feel complete. Examples of things that were adjusted: a wonky picture frame or a tilted lampshade, a cluttered mantelpiece, uneven blinds or curtains, cushions that were squashed instead of plumped, magazines found out in a messy pile, a rug that wasn't aligned properly, or a throw that looked tossed rather than styled. These tiny details don't scream dirty, but they do scream unsettled, and when corrected, they breathe calm and cohesion into the space. The lesson zooming out is it's the opposite of zooming in, where zooming in means focusing on the small details of the task, like scrubbing, dusting, polishing. Zooming out means stepping back literally and figuratively to view the room as a whole. It's a shift from task focused to atmosphere focused. I have an observation, and one that speaks volumes about the philosophy and perception of housekeeping. Presentation, even when it's just a fraction of the actual work, has an outsized influence on how people judge the overall effort. It's almost like the difference between substance and style, except in our world, the two must be woven seamlessly together. A perfectly executed deep clean might go unnoticed if the finishing touches aren't there, but an artfully staged base, even when with hidden flaws, can make people feel like they're stepping into perfection. It's fascinating how people prioritise the visual and emotional response over the actual integrity of the work. In my experience, it's worth stepping back and spend 5% or 2% of the cleaning time on presentation to ensure both elements, true cleanliness and impeccable presentation, come together effortlessly. Often my housekeepers say we just don't have time, but I encourage staff to make time, and that balance is part of the magic behind our philosophy, zooming out and being exceptional. It's better to leave an aspect of a clean, let your client know, say that you didn't have time to dust the surfaces on the top floor, but it could be carried out the next time, and do the zooming out. The client can then have the wow factor in the rest of the house and experience knowing the top bedroom will be covered next time. It really is the cherry on the cake. Think of it as wearing a well-tailored outfit without adjusting the tie or the trousers. It could just look unkept, just like the room might be clean but lacks a final finish. That wow factor, that makes it truly stunning or aligned. So the elements of this zooming in practice engages your intuitive sense of beauty and harmony, and it helps spot misalignments that disrupt the room's energy. It encourages emotional connection with the space. It enhances your visual felt experiences of cleanliness. It's like stepping out of a painting to see how the colours, shapes and brushstrokes work together, rather than just inspecting the corner of the canvas. So why it matters? This habit, though subtle, has a profound impact. It aligns with design philosophies like Feng Shui, where spatial harmony promotes emotional well-being. It encourages intentional living, a lifestyle where even your physical space supports your inner peace. And here's the best part. Everyone has the innate ability to zoom out. We all have an inbuilt sense of what feels right or wrong in the room. With practice, that sense sharpens. and your skill in home presentation becomes second nature. You all have your own inner sense of what's innately beautiful. So zooming out is creating a harmonious home and life. By zooming out and assessing your space as a whole, you unlock the ability to create an atmosphere that inspires calm, focus, and joy. This simple yet powerful habit is the final transformative step in turning a house into a home, a space that not only looks beautiful but also supports your emotional and spiritual well-being. The power of minimalism and thoughtful design. A minimalist approach doesn't mean stripping your space bare. It's about intentionally adding only what is meaningful and leaving room for you to breathe light and ease into your space. Consider incorporating clean lines, rich textures like velvet, linen or silk, natural materials such as wool, marble or stone, accessories that reflect your personality and bring joy. These subtle choices create a home that feels timeless, luxurious and authentically you. However, if you don't have the luxury of playing with these materials, any space can be tweaked and made beautiful through zooming out. It's about making the best of the things you have and building on that gradually. Sometimes when a room feels off, I pause, I close my eyes, take a deep breath, open my eyes again, and zoom out with my eyes into the space. This grounding practice helps reset my energy and perspective. With softened awareness, I begin to adjust small elements until the space feels harmonious and peaceful, trusting your inner domestic goddess. You don't need a design degree to create beauty in your home. We all carry that inner compass, as I've said. We all have an innate ability to recognize what feels right. Trust your instincts. Your home should reflect you, your story, your values, your experiences, your very own style. Take a moment to reflect. What colours bring you peace? What textures comfort you? What arrangement allows you to breathe more deeply? My personal style blends cosy, shabby chic and touches of luxury, an influence from both my mother and father, merging together. It's comforting, a little glamorous and always personal. Let your memories, dreams and emotions guide your style. That's when your space becomes yours. When working for a client, I try and step into their shoes and bring out their own inner style. For example, not everyone wants their cushions plumped and neatly positioned. I had one client who wanted a more relaxed feel and for cushions to just be thrown back on with no particular pattern. They wanted a more cosy, relaxed feel to their living room. Now, my reflection, zooming out in life, just as you zoom out to see your room's picture, take time to zoom out on your life. Look at the broader view. Consider your growth, your path, and your deeper meaning behind what you do each day. Ask yourself, what am I most proud of? What accomplishments have shaped me? If I could redo something with the wisdom I have now, what would it be? How can my home reflect this inner wisdom? What practical changes can I make today to support myself and to those I love? So zooming in and out, it's a balanced life in both homemaking and personal growth. Balance comes from knowing when to zoom in and when to zoom out. Zooming in means focusing on the day-to-day, your habits, tasks and small wins, step by step. Zooming out lets you see the big picture, your purpose, the values and long-term vision, allowing you to check on your mini steps and are they pointing you in the right direction. Together, these perspectives help you create a home and a life that is not only functional and beautiful, but also aligned to who you truly are.